Hi everybody. I
Hi.
I watched it and I'm my mind is blown. Tell me about Androon Share. You choosing to do this series and all of this, each of you, one after the other.
I think Banu was most in Androon Sheher, so Banu would be able to take that feeling.
Mm-hmm.
The feeling was great. I've always related so much to that space in my life. I I studied there actually. My college was in Anzunshire, and it really brought back memories of all the culture and the heritage that I've been so acquainted with. And for me to finally be able to um, put all that experience that I've had of Anzunshire and the hustle bustle and the just the richness of the culture and the heritage, it's just been exhilarating, honestly, for me to put that into a character and create it from scratch, keeping in mind all the intricacies of living in a very like closed kind of a society where everything's rich in culture, but also the rules are very strict in the sense that
Mm-hmm.
there's like there's like a way of life there that you have to abide by.
Mm.
And it's different for people like us, and it's different for people who live in their own share. So I really had to sort of um, be there and refer to my experiences while I was in college to really get into the skin of my character. But I think it was great. It was just amazing. I just felt like um, I could relate a lot because I've always been very enchanted by life in inner city. So I think in that sense, it was great.
Also, the fact that for people who do not know that about Androon Share, for me, it is more of a metaphor. It was something
Mm.
Andruni, something which is inside, something which is within you, and the darkness within you. And there are, it's like a parallel world where you, or probably a world that is inside you, which has these things that you do not express outside, but it is inside you. So, and things foster inside. Things, I mean, the fact is, the darkness of this entire series is cut with beautiful poetry, with
Mm.
beautiful references, beautiful dialogues. So I think it balances out in this way, in such a beautiful way. Which is why the stories are interesting. And I think for every woman who watches this, of course, I'm also talking about the men, but large part of the women audiences looking at a series like this would uh, somewhere because it's a very feminine energy uh, which runs throughout the strands of this entire series, and and the fact that it's largely dominated by women and men are incidental.
And accidental.
Yes. So I want you to tell me, each of you want I want you to tell me this kind of a it's also an experiment in a genre like this, where the narrative is largely, the gaze is the female gaze, it's not the male gaze. And we I think it's about time that we get to see more like this, because we're all stereotypically seen so many things that we do not challenge a lot of characters within our heads. So, each of you, why did you choose this series and how did you interpret it in your own way? And how excited were you to portray something which is actually a very progressive, uh, pushing the envelope kind of a role?
I felt total liberation just by reading it, Manju. And I think things like these aren't written every day. Scripts like these, especially it's for the women, by the women kind of a concept, and that we don't see because in parallel cinema also there's a certain imagery of the woman that's given. And when Katil Hasina came about, especially after Churails, I thought it was a very refreshing feel because Churails, I thought, was very contemporary narrative about these women. But this was more like Desi Noir, and Desi Noir is something that we haven't seen or done, especially in Pakistan. So, like you said, there was a lot of play between light and dark. and distortion and composure. So the contrast of the entire story was really interesting. I think that all these women, the stories of all these women, start off by very regular, everyday type of women that we see around us, who go through a lot of trouble, and they still have to keep their mind or their opinion or their mouth to themselves. But in this story, as the story progresses, in each episode, there is something that happens to these women that helps them find that darkness and take it out and work it for themselves. I love the fact that all these women are the hero and the anti-hero, which makes it all the more sexy, I feel. There's a lot of ambiguity in the beginning of each episode, which makes you very curious. So I really liked these elements and all the play that, especially Meenu, her philosophy of sticking to classic noir, but then going towards neo noir and playing with all these elements. So I really enjoyed it, and I think all of us were really thrilled, and we're really excited about the world to see what we've done.
So for me, this was, I think, our moment to play what Lauren Bacall and Rita Hayworth and Glenn Close and Sharon Stone did in their femme fatale films. Where they were, as Sarvat said, the heroes of the show and the anti-heroes. Like the story, they drove the story. It was about them, their psychosis, their motivation, their actions, their reactions, what happens to them, what they go through. And it's really important to tell these stories because we don't hear enough of them. We always hear, oh, the poor guy, he had mother issues, or his family was taken away from him, or XYZ issues happened to him. And he, along with his wife and sister and mother, who were just the sidekicks, are involved in the story. Whereas in these female-driven stories, women just add such a different flavor and element to stories, and we don't see enough of them, which is why it's always exciting. And yes, noir is not done too much in South Asia. Desi noir is definitely not done. And we have very few femme fatale stories, which usually only then revolve around a jealous girlfriend. And these women are not jealous girlfriends. There's a lot more to just being vindictive because they were betrayed by a man over, cheating or something. So I think the plot line and the motivation for each woman is much deeper, which makes it all the more exciting.
I'd do anything to save us, is what you say in one of your dialogues. Where
that's part of this character, where Zuvi's character in particular is so caught up in the perfect world and having the perfect life that she will do anything to make sure that she maintains that perfect life. So there's no betrayal in her story, but there is ambition and
saving the man who betrayed her. I mean, that the whole thing is to include. There is, and the fact that it reminded me of The Hungry, the series called The Hungry, not the series,
yeah.
The Hungry, which is Titus Andronicus. It was remade with. It was shot with Nasir Saab and a lot of other actors. So this reminded me a lot with that, because the last scene is something which is fine-tuning, and there is something that is, again, there's ambiguity. There is criminal sense of mind, but not so much, and it is believable and not believable. We are not sure whether these things happen, but they might have not happened,
So that's what made the script appealing to all of us. Like, you couldn't really figure out or put your finger on the pulse exactly, yet there was this very strong pulse running throughout the series, which was really interesting.
Yeah, and when you were offered something like this, why did you choose to do a role like? Because a lot of Pakistani content is also, a lot of Indians look up to the content. Wow, look at this series. There's also the myth of yourself series. And then, of course, I remember in Cake, which was a different take on, a lot of things. Again, I believe from Cake to when we look at Trails and this series, there is a big change, a shift in the way actresses are portrayed.
No, I'm trying to think how differently the women were, because again, Cake was primarily female-driven. Yeah. Determined, strong women who did what it takes to keep their family together, or to set the picture straight, or to set this narrative straight. They were lost girls also trying to find their way. It was more family centric, and then you come to Churels or Qatil Hasina Ho Ke Naam, and again they're lost women trying to find their way. They don't necessarily have the family support that the Cake women did, and it just goes to show how your environment, particularly family environment, which is why you always go back to serial killers and murderers, for example. The analysis that is then done is you always kind of discover that there was some kind of mother issue or father issue or something stemming from their childhood. So I don't see it as a big jump from something like Cake to Qatil and Churels. It's a woman's journey, and there's so many different stories that a woman has to tell or goes through.
I mean, to be honest, Sarbat and Sanam has said most of the things that I wanted to say, but I was just sick and tired of seeing Qatil Mards. I'm so excited. Okay, finally Qatil Hasina is aayi hai. And it's a story told by women, about women, directed by a woman. और आपको यहाँ especially पाकिस्तान में यूरोप, I mean I'm fairly new, but आपको तो chances नहीं मिलते एक director के साथ काम करने के लिए जो औरत है. Script aside, मेरे लिए ये भी एक बहुत बड़ी बात थी. I was like really excited to work with a director who's a woman. Not going to say female director. So that, and also just that's about it. Honestly, like I'm so sick and tired of seeing women being victims, and it's finally so refreshing to see that like strong, powerful women navigating through their life from privileged and underprivileged areas.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's
interesting. It also reminded me of Tabu's character from Andhadhun, where she's unapologetic about her killing, and she lives the way she wants to, and she acts out what her desires are. So I guess characters like these are redefining, and it's important. We have today with OTT, we have room for so much much more, and the content is across everywhere. And also the fact that Sinduri Sanj was such a beautiful, beautiful song. I mean, I wanted to hear the full song, but I think there's a small element of it in the series, which is beautiful. Another thing is the fact that men swear and women don't swear. There are so many cliches you keep bursting. The good woman, the perfect woman, whatever. But so this is generally an observation. The fact that you try to blast the cliches to a point where I'm sure there are alternative sexuality, which is also being explored in the series. It's not just about women. It also talks about other relationships. And the fact that there's also an attempt to correct the genre itself, right? Like you rightly said, Iman, that it's always a male-centered murderer. And now you have...
Yes. Also, there's, I mean, coming from Pakistan, I can say there's a lot of censorship over here. And in this, we had a little bit of freedom to, kind of avoid that censorship. It at least made me feel very liberated. Because, it's really freeing to go beyond that censorship and be able to explore these topics and be able to, tell these stories without the fear.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
I get it.
It's very liberating. It was.
And it's also very intelligent writing. Because
absolutely.
you find your character now, in that character you play. So it doesn't really, get into a space where you're saying, okay, I'm not this. You've already defined that these are almost fugitives. I can't say fugitives, but women who are not the norm that you would see around. And apart from the fact that there is also female bonding in the series, there are women supporting women in a very different, unique way. So tell me about that, because sisterhood is a very important part of
solidarity. Itni zyada hai. Or ऑफ स्क्रीन भी है जो हम लोग बिल्कुल नहीं दिखाते. हमें कोई शौक नहीं अपने टेलीविजन में दिखाने के लिए फॉर सम रीजन. और इसमें इट वाज वेरी रिफ्रेशिंग टू सी कि देयर आर वुमेन कमिंग टुगेदर एंड हेल्पिंग ईच अदर. I don't know, I can't say much more, I don't think so, but
characters, of course. I'm talking about the characters also in the series. not necessarily the man comes to save you or a woman. There is a lot of, in fact, the narration is also done by women. The poetry is also spoken by women. There is that. Meher, would you like to add to what he just spoke?
I just think that, generally, like Iman said, female camaraderie is an aspect of the female life that has been completely underrepresented for so long. I think बहुत इसमें एक सच्चाई है that, women do stand up for each other. It's just such a normal part of our lives. It's an essential part of the female experience because we're generally more empathetic beings. So I think this is just something that's been completely discarded from all sorts of media, and we don't get to see that at all. In fact, if you just turn on the television, women are just so domesticated. And in that, they're always fighting each other, and that's the only aspect that we get to see. So that's obviously very, very detrimental to how, our perception is shaped and how, the masses perceive us. So I think this is an attempt to kind of deter from this narrative that, we're always fighting each other, whereas that's completely untrue. And for most of us, I also think that what I liked about this show the most, of course, most of my co-actors have already said what needed to be said, but I think what I like the most about this is that it's so rooted in culture, this show, and it's written so well that way. Of course, the female struggle is universal, but just the fact that, we get to show a very authentic side of the region that we hail from to the world, and it's going to be up on such a global scale now that it's going to be up there for everyone to see. I think that in itself is such a pleasure to be a part of in that sense.
Also, the fact that the series also tackles other issues like ageism. It also talks about a woman is not desirable enough if she's not in a certain age bracket, and then if she's older and she's not supposedly desirable, then she's of no use. She can only be maternal. I think that was a one of the, I think the one at the nursery. I have watched
Faiza Gilani.
Yes, we did have this entire thing about the beauty
Dhalti Jawani.
Jawani, and how and it's a fact. All these things are real. These things are things that people speak very loosely, easily. Political incorrectness is rampant. We are sure of it. It's normal, and we have normalized it. So I guess series like these, when they come out, they really point it out, saying that no, it's not cool. It's not a norm. It is not something to be, and that's probably why content like this needs to be put out, because it's not just the story, but what you also say through these other smaller instances that people will remember. Because I think the side stories are also the very important part of it. It's written so beautifully. It's directed so well. So, especially the ageism factor is something that I always felt was never dealt with in a nice way. People do talk about other issues, but this specific one did. So I'm very impressed by the fact that it was. And also the men in the series, I'm happy that they took part in it. They supported this. I mean, they were not the heroes. And they agreed to do the series.
It was very disturbing for them, Manju, Also, when the promos started coming out, they're like, where are we? I'm like, kaise feel hota hai? Aise feel hota hai? Ab pata chala?
Yeah, but they agreed to be part of it. So in fact, it's going to work for them. But it'll be like they are the feminists. They are the... they agreed to be part of a series like this. So it's going to work on their favor. So yes, the fact that the rules have been all tilted in the series, and
I liked, Manju, if I could just add, I liked how Qatil Hasina questions the traditional moral values of our system today. And not a lot of shows do that. We're very sugar-coated as content creators, So that was very refreshing for me.
I think it does. It talks about establishment, right? It challenges establishment. So it could be the establishment of marriage. It could be an institution of, it could be anything which is an institution challenged. And the men are shown with lisps. The men are shown with the flaws. So it's not like a perfect man that is being shown with meaning, pride. So I guess put together, well, I'm very happy to watch it, and this is something that I enjoyed watching. Also because yesterday I watched a Malayalam film, which had 4 women characters who choose to be what they are. They are in relationships not necessarily because they want to be married. So across the board, I think even in India, I'm talking about Malayalam cinema, which is south of India, there is this, I'm not calling it a movement, but there is this attempt to redefine roles which have been like now cliched and boring, and nobody wants it.
Because OTT platforms have given us the freedom to do that on national television anywhere, not just in South Asia, but I think anywhere it's controlled. So you can't go and tell any perspective or any story that you feel like. It has to be done within the us culture ke daire ke andar rehte hue. But OTT platforms and cinema, you can't do that either too much. But OTT platforms has given us all the freedom to kind of tell stories as realistically as possible and to really show the other side that's never been able to be told.
Yeah.
And I think globally, everybody's taking advantage of that. Yeah.
Yeah. So all the best to all of you, and it was lovely chatting up. I enjoyed watching the series, and I'm going to really watch it more and recommend it. It's something that I think is a step ahead in a lot of things, because also they seem more, like you said, hasn't been explored much. What we actually look at is they're very cliched representations in the past, if we have seen them. But yes, so good luck to all of you ladies. Hope to see you.
Thank you.
And
thank you, Manju.
Let's go coffee when you're here. I mean, lovely to
Definitely.
chat. Thank you. Thank you very much.